Ever wondered what truly sets unforgettable hospitality apart from just another stay? This is the Global Hospitality Collective podcast, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the stories of short-term rental and vacation rental leaders who are reshaping our industry. Every other week, authors behind the Hospitable Hosts book series unpack the real strategies, lessons, and heart-led decisions driving meaningful change in hospitality. So if you're ready to challenge the status quo and elevate the way you host, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Hi there, this is Tanya with the Global Hospitality Collective podcast, and this week is an author interview. I'm super excited for this gal because I already know her and love her and have spent a lot of time with her, and I know how much she cares. Oh my gosh, there are levels of what people care about in hospitality, and this gal's levels are so high up, like I don't think I can actually keep up. I know that she's a better host than me, which is completely fine with me, because that's the beauty of hosting, right? Is that we know people that we want to chase to be better and all that good stuff. So this gal was in Hospitable Hosts book number 3. She is chapter 8. She is amazing. She's from Ohio, and her name is Debbie Todd. Debbie, hi, how are you?
I know we go way back, Tanya and I, and there's my dog. Sorry.
It's okay.
FedEx, they're here in Amazon every day. But yes, Tanya and I met in Colorado. We were roommates. I think one of the Global Hospitality Collective Summit. But yes, I am Debbie Todd. I live in Columbus, Ohio. My husband and I own 3 short-term rentals in Hocking Hills, Ohio, which is about an hour south of Columbus. So that's kind of where we are, what we do, and all the goods.
Awesome. Real quick before we get into more questions, Hocking Hills. Hocking Hills is really big, and I think the only reason I know about it is because I know a few hosts over there, and I saw some very viral places. There are a couple gorgeous properties that have come into my realm, and again, we all have such different algorithms, so I don't know if other people know about Hocking Hills, but can you tell me, since some of that virality has happened, how is the Hocking Hills market? What does it feel like? Is it oversaturated? Blah, blah, blah. All those good questions.
Yes. It is a little hidden gem. We call it our little mini Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's a year-round destination. It's very drivable from a lot of different places, different states, caves, waterfalls, hiking. There's water activities, just so many different things. Is it saturated? I don't think it, or maybe I should say it is. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it is. And I think it kind of depends on kind of what you have to offer. When you look at the market, there's lots of 1 to 2 bedroom places, but there's also a lot of people that want that. Ours tend to be a little bigger. They're multi-generational. We have a 12-person, 18-person, and 20-person. So we tend to the market kind of decreases a little bit with that. But that's kind of our jam. We didn't mean for that to happen. It just did. And it's been working really well. We love it.
That's awesome. I know that people talk about when stuff like this happens, like people find out, there was always the Bransons, there was always the Gatlinburgs and Smokies and the Emerald Coast, but then there's these little new ones, and I feel like they're little, but they're not. But they pop up in like Hocking Hills, there's a couple of spots in Maine that I feel this way about, and then maybe Wisconsin Dells in Wisconsin. So I'm always curious to see, what do people think, and then when somebody finds out about it, did everybody come in and take it over? Do you feel like a lot of new rentals did pop up, and has it
100.
affected the community?
It has. And I was just about to add to that. So when we got into it, again, we didn't really mean to get into it. It was by accident. And then COVID hit. And of course, everything. It's so funny. I feel like in all these episodes, COVID is like somewhere in the conversation, right? Just kind of like part of our story now. But after that, yes, it blew up just along with everything else. And, people are like, oh, we're going to do the short-term rental passive income. Not so much. And I think with it, the growth happened so quick in this area because it was kind of more of a quiet, area. People knew about it, but off the radar. It grew so quick that I think the community have a hard time keeping up with it, you know, of places to go, the roads, the traffic, the parking. And there's like no zoning, there's like no, there was nothing, you know, so everybody was like,
No
woo, free
rules.
for all. So I think the local community, you know, they were like, whoa, what is happening to our sweet little, you know, we would go to the parks. Now we can't even get into the parks. So it's been a learning curve. I think it's great for the community, although I think some things need to change. I think there needs to be some regulations. I think there needs to be, and we're working through that now, actually, as we speak. So being a part of that, and, you know, I live an hour away. So I am very passionate about getting into the community there. We are so fortunate to have our businesses there that I want to be a part of it. I want people to know that we are not just there just to make money and just to, like, it's bigger than that. And we'll kind of touch on that a little bit in a second. But that has been super important to me. I would like to do more, but you know, we can only do what we can do in our seasons of life.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking of this because I did get I call them NIMBYs. A lot of people in real estate know what a NIMBY is, and that means not in my backyard people.
Oh,
I got a comment this week when somebody found out I have short-term rentals in the area that I live. Like I live in this same neighborhood or like a neighborhood over, but it's all kind of one big community. And I got a comment of, oh, so you're the reason for the housing shortage. And I'm kind of like, every time that happens, it feels like such a slap in the face. But then I think further about it, and I think about like one of our houses is a 6-bedroom house, and our average guest count is 10 to 12 people. And I think of 10 to 12 people that aren't like, we don't, obviously, like a ton of people book short term rentals so that they can cook and they can do all this stuff. But there's this version of people that come into town that don't do any of that because they're not interested. And it's so interesting to think, but those people are the ones eating at the restaurants that are closing that you're not patronizing because you don't want to or whatever, or you get so sad that these places are closing. But the people that I bring into town are the reason some of them are, because they're typically the ones exploring the area. They're the ones who, 12 people going into a restaurant, that's really good money for that restaurant. That's not, you know, just some average Joe's. So I think about that and I'm just like, man, I just want to like wear a t-shirt that always says like, ask me more about me taking over the whole neighborhood.
right. I know. And I think a lot of it is education. I think they just get this bad rap and they're, you know, but just educating them. Like, do you realize like what this does help with the community? Or, you know, we do a lot of, you know, using our properties to give back. Like we have these platforms for impact, and this is what some people are doing with, you know. So I think a lot of it is education, and you know, sometimes showing up to those meetings that you're like, ooh, do I really want to go? If you want to have a business there, yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's get into some hospitality stuff. Tell me, what is your secret sauce to hospitality? Like what is it that guests are like, whoa, when they come to your houses, that's a little bit different than what other people would provide?
What's funny, because I know my answer 100%, but I've never actually thought of it like that. Like, what's my secret sauce? Because we never intended it to be our secret sauce. It was just something we decided to do as a family. And, you know, as a family, we've, even before short-term rentals, you know, I'm a physical therapist. I actually work in the prison system. So I am all about people, and like, it's, you know, all kind of ways, right? Helping people. And, you know, we've always done Meals on Wheels as families, blessing bags where you put, you know, stuff in bags and put them in your car and pass it to homeless. Like that's just always kind of been in our blood, in our, you know. So when short-term rentals came along by accident, you know, I looked at my husband and I said, I love that we get to enjoy these. I love that we get to provide these for other families, this space, but I think it's bigger. How can we integrate this business to giving back and helping community? So we had our kids each pick a charity, and we decided as a family to give back 5% of each booking to one of their charities. And then what we wanted to include the guest. So we have the guests decide where they want their 5% to go. It was more for us. I mean, just for our family, to get my kids involved, because, as a parent, we're trying to teach them the world does not revolve around you. Also that you need to get off your phone and look up and see what's around you. So that's super important. So that's kind of why we started it. the responses we got from that with guests, I mean, the connection, the guests, each charity, my son picked Special Olympics, my middle daughter picked St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and my other daughter picked the Humane Society, which all fits their personality. A lot of our guests had different connections with those charities. So the conversations that I'm having with guesting goes way beyond, do we have a hot tub? Do we have, towel? It's a deeper conversation, a connection. So that's how it started. Well, then I was like, this is my jam. What else can we do? So, I mean, we have 18 different initiatives between our properties, because I love it so much. I mean, my family's like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? But I'm like, my husband's like, Debbie, we can't give it all away. Like, we're going to go bankrupt. I'm like, but we buy products. So I was like, what are we already doing? We were going to start having coffee. When we first started, we didn't provide coffee for guests. That's something that I wanted to do eventually. So I looked up coffee that gives back. Okay, let's try this. Found a company in Wisconsin. So we use their coffee. Toilet paper that gives back. Who gives a crap? I mean, that's the name of the company we use. They are amazing, and they're so cute. I should probably. They are so cute. So again, it just started growing, and guests started noticing. We provide volunteer opportunities. So we have an in-house chef that they can extra fee, or what is the other? Oh, massage. We do in-house massage. They can schedule that. We also provide them volunteer opportunities that they can go to the local food bank. So we just kind of it's kind of just part of how we do business. To me, it's not one more thing, although it may seem like that to other people, because we're already doing it. So how can we just kind of think outside of the box and add it, just kind of impact, purpose to it? So that's, I would say, my secret sauce, although it's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, I know you love it. I already knew Debbie's answer because I have spent time with Debbie, and she does. Like, I feel like that's the beautiful part about you, is your authenticity comes through, because it doesn't matter where you are. Someone's going to learn about that because you shout it from the rooftops. So you're completely right when you say it's your jam, because it is. Like, I know people that know that about you as well. So it seems to go hand in hand. The thing that I just thought of as you were talking, I'm coming into a season of apparently of a couple of bad reviews, and in Airbnb land, we care about we care about this, because it does feel like somebody just kind of like, I don't know, throat chopped you when they give you a 4-star or a 3-star, or even like a 2 or a 1, because they're being super dramatic because they probably threw a party. Any 1-star review, I'm like, yep, you threw a party, that's why. But anyways, I digress. Tell me, if you have you ever gotten any 3 or 4 stars?
We have
reviews.
We've gotten a 3. We've gotten although I was able to remove it after multiple
reach outs.
Yeah, Airbnb. But yeah, it was because we didn't have a bathroom down in our basement, which we never said we had a bathroom down in, like,
people are so strange,
weird stuff. And I'm like, you're giving me a 3-star review, But anyway,
well, the reason that I'm asking you that is I'm curious. Like, I thought of this and I thought, I wonder if anybody would give her a 4-star review when knowing they do these good things. Because that's truly like what I thought of immediately. I'm just like, huh. So tell me about, like, I mean, if you've gotten 1 or 2 4-star reviews, did you do the same back and forth with those people about what charity? Because I'm assuming they have to message you or something and say, like, hey, this is the charity we would like you to do. Did that happen with those 4-star reviews?
Yes. All of our, back and forth is the same. It's all automated. And lots of times they'll reach out to me and ask me questions about it, and I, answer. We haven't got, I mean, the majority of our reviews are 5 stars.
Yeah, of course. That's typical.
And even the 4-star, I will say, even the 4-star I was a little like kind of taken back, but it was warranted. It was stuff that we needed was getting sad. We'll work on, like, our kitchenware. It was getting sad. And I forgot to look at, I'm like, and I was like, you know what? That's legit. Like, okay. So those are, but what I've noticed is when things happen, which not if they happen, when they happen, things You can try to make it as perfect as possible, and it doesn't happen all the time. But the grace that our guests give us, I can't directly correlate it with the give back, but there are things that guests should not be giving us 5-star reviews for because of what they went through, and they give us a 5-star review. I mean, I'm like, there is no way. I mean, are you kidding me? I'm trying to think, like, we had oh gosh, this gives me like hyperventilate even talking about it, but one of our places wasn't clean. They walked in, it was miscommunication, hadn't been cleaned yet. Of course, I'm like, no, I know, exactly. But how you respond to it, I think, is everything, regardless of what it is. Guess that you hear them, how you respond, how quickly you respond, was pretty darn amazing. And we got a 5-star review. They walked in to our place that was not clean, and we still got a 5-star review. Again, there's not a direct, but more so than not, what the guests say about it, it's pretty cool. And the communication I get with guests after, like months after. For example, we give so instead of a welcome basket, we do a blessing bag, kind of like what we've done in our family. And at checkout, they take it home with them, put it in their car. Well, I had a lady reach out to me. It was probably like 4 months after their stay. She said, I have to let you know what just happened. She said, my 7-year-old, we passed a homeless person, and my 7-year-old was like, Mom, remember that blessing bag from the place we stayed at in Hocking Hills? She's like, yeah. She's like, can we give it to him? So they gave it to him. She said, my daughter's face, to see the guy not smiling, to have a smile, she said, it lit her up. She was so happy. So we've made multiple bags for each of our cars now. And I'm like, that's what it's all about. I mean, the ripple effect, is just super cool. So answering your question, but not yes, I think it does help.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I honestly, we had that recently too. From the first time in 6 years, we had a clean that did completely got missed. So guests checked in, same thing, and you're just kind of like, oh crap, what's gonna happen? And you honestly don't know until it could be 2.5 weeks later that you find out, because truly, if it happens on day 1 and they're a 2 to 4 day stay, and then they get 2 weeks to review, you literally don't know. But we just did the same thing where it was a really fast communication, and I think that's really important. And we still got a 5-star, which is amazing. But I love the idea that people will message you later. And then so 2 other questions. One, does the give back thing come up a lot in your reviews? And second question is, do people come back to stay? Do you get a lot of repeat guests? So, answer whichever one of those first.
Again, then the third question. People have mentioned many times that they picked us out of all of the stays because we have a give back component. So I have had guests reach out and say, I want you to know we're so excited. We just get this new booking, ding, never gets old. You're like, yay. And they message me saying, we've looked at many places in Hocking Hills, and we love your give back component, which is why we came with you, or decided to book with you, which I'm like, that's, again, never in a million years did I ever think, that didn't even cross my mind,
That's not why you did it.
No. And what was your other 2? Because I got excited about
reviews. Do people mention it in the reviews about the give back?
Yes, so many times. I was curious, how many reviews. I did a really quick copy paste to chat to see.
Awesome.
I think it was 1 in 7, 1 in 9 reviews, I think. Again, I literally just did this the other day, and I haven't really had a time to go back over it, but many reviews have something about the give back component. Yes.
That's awesome. And do you do direct bookings?
We do.
As well. Okay. So do you get a lot of people coming back? I typically think that direct bookings are usually second time stays, third time stays, fourth time stays. Right. Sometimes, we'll get one that I'm like, oh, where did that come from? But I have, and I don't know. But I'm curious, do a lot of people come back and stay? because I almost feel like that, like you're giving a warm fuzzy in a way that does, like somebody does say, I want to go back to that place. Or maybe they're always coming back to Hocking Hills every single summer because it's amazing.
Right.
But I'm curious if you think there's some correlation there if you get a
We
lot of direct bookings.
we do. I don't know if it's because of the give back. We do. Sometimes your space, your location in your space, because
Of
we have
course.
bigger places, it's a little bit logistically harder to get the same people back. Have we gotten them back? Yes, absolutely. What I've noticed though, it's more the retreat um, groups than like families
Okay.
and friends that we have gotten back. They
Okay.
church retreats.
Okay.
They love the give back portion of that. They've all already said they're like, oh, our sister church. We've told them that they're going to have their retreat. So
Yeah.
we get a lot of those repeat bookings
Okay.
back.
No,
Yeah,
that's totally cool. I think it's fun to like dig into,
yeah.
why that might happen. And honestly, a lot of it is us guessing anyways,
Hmm.
unless you have like hard data, which essentially means you have to ask guests more questions, which we don't want to do.
I
We
know.
do not want to, sometimes you'll get a comment like, you ask a lot of questions. I'm like, you don't even know. I
Yeah,
want to ask you 50 more, but I've chosen these two. That's it. You're
I know.
welcome.
Absolutely.
um, Okay, so tell me something weird or something fun about hosting. I know you got a good host story somewhere in there because you've hosted a lot of people. Tell me something that
Mhm.
just makes you go, "Oh, it was so delightful," or "Oh God, that was so weird or gross."
Gosh, I feel like my brain, I'm trying to think. Oh, I feel like my brain is all on like give back stories right now. I'm trying
Yeah,
to think.
that's fine. Tell us
Oh,
one.
no, I'm lying. I have a good one. I have a good one. I just
Okay.
remember. I'm like, this was like maybe 3 weeks in to doing short-term rentals when I had zero clue what I was doing. And my husband and I was at work. He calls me and he's like, I think we have, he's not, I think, he's like, we have a problem. So what's that? He goes, the guests are just called me and said their car was stolen. And I was like, what? We're in the middle of the wood. Like, I'm really confused how this is all happening. Um, they were supposed to check out at 11. They called it like 11:30 and said, they called my husband and said, our car was stolen. What should we do? And my husband's like, call the cop, call the police. We're an hour away. Like, so it was such a weird. The answers were very vague. They said they were like up to 4 in the morning. Like they we think the keys were in the car, but then it was like we don't know what happened. It was kind of this weird. We're like, are they trying to? Was it really stolen? Was it not? No answers. Like it was so bizarre. And then it kind of just went. So we're like, was it like a drug deal that went bad, or we're thinking of all these things. Do they want a refund? So I don't really even know what happened from it because we were so kind of taken back and like couldn't because I kept like, is there anything? My husband's like, do you need us to come get you? Like, what do you need? Like, can we help? And you call the cops first and see what's going on. But they were kind of weird about calling the cops and they're like, we think someone came inside but we were up all night, but it was so weird. So still don't know. So I had to put in my listing, make sure all your doors are locked and You know,
Just
it's
common
so weird,
sense.
this stuff that you think people will know. Like, again, we have open concept, 20 people. I had someone complain, actually, this was a 4-star review, that it was too loud. Our house was too loud. It was over Christmas and there were 13 children. She's like, I couldn't get any peace and quiet. And I'm like,
Because you
probably
brought 13
fine. I
children.
don't know.
Some of the things.
I had to put that on my listing that it's an open concept house and it can get
Oh,
loud. I was like, did I really
no,
put that on
Debbie.
my? So anytime you see signs in people's properties,
Houses?
there's reasons that they
There's
have
something
this.
that happened. Yeah. We got a 4-star one time because a group of 8 people were coming down from Duluth, which is in northern Minnesota, and we're in the Twin Cities. And there was a lot of snow. And there was snow that week. There was not snow that day or the day before. But half of their group canceled and the other half still went. Like they went to a show down here in the Twin Cities. And I got a 4-star review, and it even said in the 4-star review, yeah, half of our group couldn't come because of the snow. And I'm like, wait a minute. This has nothing to do with my house. This has nothing, like, I mean, I know that's their experience, but I got rated because some of their friends couldn't come because it snowed. I was like, what? How is this? This is such a stupid system sometimes. Because it's almost like there needs to be like an asterisk or like an extra checkbox for them that it's like, does this review reflect the house?
The house.
Like the house in...
You're right.
I mean,
yeah,
you can't even say experience, even though we can give them a great experience. Like somebody could have such a great time in the backyard around the fire pit and have the best memories, so they gave the 5-star because of that. And then another person is like, yeah, half of our group had to cancel, so you don't get as many stars. I'm like, what? This isn't about your vacation. It's about the house.
Yeah.
Please don't rate your vacation and assume that that's how you should rate my house.
I know.
I mean, you know, some of it is legit, for real. We do deserve 4 stars sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, what?
I know.
Oh, man, so stupid. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about you're part of the Global Hospitality Podcast as well. The collective has a podcast that you're listening to right now is the author interviews, and then we have a panel podcast every other week, and you're one of those gals. So you're very involved in the Global Hospitality Collective. Can you talk a little bit more about the Give Back initiative that you're doing with the hospitality or the Global Hospitality Collective?
Yes, absolutely. So it all kind of started when back to Hospitable Hosts Volume 3. I was on podcast sharing how we, give back as a family. And then, when I would be interviewed, I'd, check out the person that's interviewing and listen to their podcast. And, and all these people were part of this Hospitable Host book. And I'm like, what is this Hospitable Host book? So friend of a friend of somebody connected me with Jody. Got to be part of the Hospitable Host Volume 3 book. Very cool to write. And Tanya, you were Volume 3. Very cool to get your story in print. Like, it's just to think it through. We say it a lot, but to get it in print.
We're authors.
So cool, right? Well, talking to Jody, I said, listen, I love how it's going to be in print, but I think this book is going to be, I think our story is going to be bigger from this book. And again, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, I have a feeling you're going to be a part of it. I told Jody this. She's like, I like it. So book comes out. About 3 months later, I'm talking Give Back with my husband, which, God love him, and all these ideas. And my daughter comes down, my 11-year-old daughter at the time comes down, and she's like, Mom, what if we do like a Give Back journal or like a kid's journal, like Give Back journal? I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is what? So I connected her with Jody. So my 11-year-old created a Give Back journal for kids. It's a weekly journal that Jody helped her publish, which if all this goes away right now, that to me was like, that's worth it. That's pretty cool, right? So then Global Hospitality is here. And I told Jody, I was like, let's bring your education and bringing people and connection together and building up the industry. And let's bring giving back and let's do it all together. So I've created Give Back Hospitality, which is basically bringing the short-term rental community together to use your platform, your properties to give back in different ways. And what I've noticed is there's kind of like 3 type of host. There's the host that actually, when you talk about it, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm already doing this. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's awesome. There's the host that's like, oh, you know what? I've kind of thought about it, but I have zero clue how to start that. I gotcha. And then there's the host that's like, never once have I ever thought about that, but tell me more. So it's kind of bringing that together and providing a space for all of us to kind of do this together. It builds our communities. It builds our businesses. It builds our family. Our families kind of are watching this while we're doing this. So it's just been it's super new, super fresh. Of course, I change it because I try to make it simple, but provide people with, I was just talking to a host in Hocking Hills on the way home today. And she was saying, she's like, I'm so in the weeds right now. I've got 3,000 things happening. I get it. She's like, I want to do this so bad, of integrating this into my property. How can I do something super simple? And I'm like, here's A, B, and C. Just do that right now and start there. She's like, I can do that. I'm like, I know you can. Sometimes people just need a little guidance. It doesn't have to be all money. It doesn't have to, there's so many different ways. And I'm telling you, it's a ripple effect. Like, be ready, because you're going to want to just give your place away. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. My main goal is to show that profit and purpose can go hand in hand. I think lots of times you're giving back, you're like, oh, but I don't have the money to give back, or I don't have the time to give back. You do, and I can help you. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I have two questions within this.
Yes.
But first tell me, so if somebody wants to talk to you about this because they do want to figure this out, where do they go? Can they go on to the website to find out more, or do they need to reach out to you? What does that look like?
All the above. There is a website, givebackhospitality.com. There's a website. There's a lot of information on there because I have a lot of information in my head. So I feel like everybody else wants to know all of it, and they usually don't. But there's a lot of great information there. There's also contact that you can get in touch with me if you have specific questions. And I could talk about this all day. So call me or email me or whatever,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if somebody's listening right now, they don't want to give 5% of their money back because it doesn't matter what the reason is. So what is one thing that you would want somebody to go home with that they could potentially do tomorrow?
Yes. So the example I gave the lady today, get a bag or get a basket. Again, you can do it. I'm just giving you two examples. Do it however you want. And leave a letter. You can make your own letter, or we have one because our community, we have a Hocking Hills gives back. You can download a letter there, but it's specifically to Hocking Hills. Connect with your food bank and have a letter. Tell your guests, say, hey, on your way out, if you have any non-perishables that you don't want to take with you, leave it here. We will bring it to our local food bank. And that's all you need to do. And just watch. And see and not all guests will do it, and not, but simple, super simple.
Yeah. And who brings that? You said you live an hour away. So who is bringing that to the food bank?
Whatever works for your business. The cleaning team could do it. I love doing it. So we have a spot that they put all of the food. And then when I go once a month, twice, I will go grab it and bring it to the food bank.
Gotcha.
I would be more than happy for them. I just don't want to add another thing to their plate, and they probably would totally do it, but it's just kind of whatever works for your business. Another thing is where to put it. Some people, where we had it, we have bags with the letter stapled to it. We had it initially in a room that I don't think people really noticed it. So we've moved it now to the table, and some people do it right. So you kind of play with it to see what works. But yeah, it's easy. Make it yours.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. If somebody wants to follow you, wants to find your houses, wants to connect with you, how do they do it?
You could go, we're on Instagram, Give Back Hospitality on Instagram, and then also the Woodlands at Hocking Hills on Instagram too. So message me, check the website out, all the things. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that in the show notes. I'll also put givebackhospitality.com in there so people can check that out. And I just want to say thank you so much, Debbie, for the time. I think your secret sauce is always one that's worthy of to be on 100 podcasts, honestly, because you give back things that other people don't. And, as a host, I don't necessarily think about a lot of this. So I appreciate you doing that and giving me at least something to think about. And hopefully somebody else thought about it too.
Awesome. So good. Always good seeing you. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yeah, yes, we're definitely going to be at the summit together. Anybody that's listening, the summit is at the end of September. It's going to be a really good time. Come and hang out with all of us. And if you liked this episode, please hit subscribe, share it to people, give us 5 stars, do all of that. If you didn't like the episode, just ignore us. Do not click 4 stars. Go away and find something better to do with your time. Thanks everybody for listening. I appreciate it. This is Tanya with the Global Hospitality Collective podcast, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
That's it for this episode of the Global Hospitality Collective podcast. If today's conversation made you think, inspired you, or just reminded you why hospitality matters, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Next week, our panel, Helen, Rose, Debbie and myself are back, and we're going beyond the listings and the tech, diving headfirst into real stories, the hard decisions, and yes, all those weird and wacky guest experiences you won't believe are true. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for listening, and as always, keep hosting with heart. See you next time.